Hello friends, today I am making pancit. For those who don't know what pancit is, it's a popular noodle dish from the Philippines. I'm not Filipino, but I do like pancit very much. It's very tasty, but I've never made it before, and so this is my first time, and it was a spectacular fail. Let's see what I did wrong. The recipe calls for julienned carrots. I don't know how to julienne very well. My knife skills aren't that advanced. So I did the best I could. I think they were more matchstick than julienne. I probably should have just used my Ninja shredder machine, the grater or shredder tool that comes with it. But I was too lazy to bring it out. Anyway, we also need sliced cabbage. It doesn't call for a lot. I think the recipe said something like 3 ounces, but I needed to use this cabbage, so I sliced all of it. It wasn't that big to begin with. This recipe also called for onions, but I forgot to record that part. Oops. Time to mince some garlic. I don't know if you're like me, but I love garlic, so I almost always at least double the garlic amount that is called for in the recipe. I meant to record me putting the vegetable oil in the wok and then adding the chicken. Not sure what happened, but this is what I found in my camera roll. I added the chicken after I had put in the vegetable oil in the wok. The chicken I had marinated in soy sauce, sugar, and a little bit of oyster sauce, which wasn't in the recipe, but I always add it to my Asian marinades. It makes it taste really good. Once the chicken is cooked through, push it aside and add the garlic. Stir the garlic around, and after a minute or two, add the onion, then add the cabbage, and lastly the carrots. I cheated and nuked the carrots in a little bit of water in the microwave for a few minutes to soften them. Give it a whirl. After a few minutes, remove all of the veggies and the chicken from the wok. For the sauce, add water, soy sauce, dark soy sauce, sugar, and chicken bouillon. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I use dark soy sauce, no matter how little I add, it just magically ruins my dish at some point. Here are the noodles I used. Mian Liao Xian something something. So I usually cook whatever noodles I'm using to stir fry ahead of time, boil it in a separate pot. But this recipe called for the glass noodles to be cooked directly in the sauce in the wok. I'm not a fan of this, but I guess I have to trust the process and the recipe at this point. Stir it every so often. I noticed as the noodles absorbed the sauce, they started to stick to the bottom of the wok. I didn't use a nonstick wok, which explains it, and I needed to add a little more water because some of the noodles were still stiff after about 6 to 8 minutes. Once the noodles were saturated, I added the shrimp to cook in the pan. I probably should have cooked the shrimp ahead of time, like boiled it, ahead of time, and then added it to the wok, because the shrimp ended up turning a weird color. My kid asked, "What kind of shrimp is this?" I said, "Brown shrimp." Throw the chicken and cabbage mixture back in and give it a good stir. At this point, it's done. The noodles were super globby and stuck together. I had a really hard time mixing it in with the veggies in the wok, as well as in my bowl. It just would not incorporate very well. The house does smell really good, though, with the aromas of the garlic and the sweet sauce and the noodles. And when I tasted the pancit, yep, it tasted like shit.